I shared so much hype about the iPad mini when it first came out, and as a tech YouTuber, it is my duty to pop back in later and take it all back and share my regrets with you. Nah, I'm just kidding. You all loved my iPad mini week, where I basically released a video every day chatting about some aspect of the iPad mini. Naturally, you're curious if I still love the mini and if I'm getting any use out of it. And you might be wondering if it's too late or even worth getting an iPad mini, since we're all basically waiting until maybe March for Apple to unveil a new iPad, right? There's rumors, among other things, that Apple will release a new iPad Air, and I find that people that are hesitant of getting the iPad mini are considering the iPad Air. Now, I've said it time and time again on this channel that the iPad mini serves a very specific purpose. It's for folks who want something larger than their phone, smaller than their laptop, but you still have the ability to handwrite notes, snap some shots discreetly in public, fit in your bag or the pocket of your jeans if you're not a woman, or don't wear women's pants. We just want pockets. And I stand by that. If you remember from my past iPad mini videos, I was so pumped to use the iPad mini like a sketch pad or a sketchbook. And this is more so coming from a creative perspective. It's drilled in us to never leave the house without pen and paper to sketch out our ideas, capture an idea, or something while we're out. Yeah, you could jot some stuff down in your notes app or use your finger to draw something out, which I've done. But having the larger screen, but not so large that it feels like I'm pulling out a mini laptop, is really nice for writing out and drawing and ideating those ideas. The mini really excels in that. I love handwriting and jotting stuff down. And before iPads and all of that, I would have random scraps of paper on my desk that I'd use anytime I need to jot down a phone number or something like that. Of course, the mini is a very expensive replacement for something like that, but it's obviously way more valuable and more intuitive for work than a scrap piece of paper on your desk. And it's because I can use it like a sketch pad for ideas and writing down random phone numbers or things that pop into my head, but also accessing work on the go, since it connects with things like my MacBook, my iMac, and even my bigger iPad Pro. Because it's connected to the entire ecosystem of Apple products that I have, I can tap into any of my work from the iPad mini. I can tap into that work in a smaller, more portable form factor of a respectable size compared to something like my phone. That being said, and with how much I completely geeked over the purple colorway, I recognize and I'm willing to admit that the iPad mini isn't for everyone. And I certainly wouldn't recommend the iPad mini as a first iPad for someone. I think the Air is better suited for that. Everything I do on my iPad Pro, I'm able to do on the iPad mini, and I've shown that and proven that through all of the iPad mini videos on this channel. I can edit videos and photos on the iPad mini. I can draw and create and procreate on the iPad mini. I can plan in my digital planner. I can play video games. It's more than capable of handling what you throw at it due to that A15 Bionic chip in it. That being said though, I operate from an iPad first workflow, meaning that the brunt of my work is first done on the iPad. The ideation, the planning, the creation, and even the execution of the work. So I'm working literally 5 to 6 hours at a time on the iPad. My husband literally has to remind me to move away from the iPad, take a break for the sake of my back and my eyes. And work like that is just not as comfortable on something like the iPad mini. It's just a nicer writing and drawing experience than something like the Air or the Pro, especially if you're a heavy iPad user, or if you think you'll end up becoming a heavy iPad user. And while I've used it a ton when I first got the iPad mini, I've actually been using it less and less lately. And that's mainly due to me not going anywhere. The iPad mini has always been a great companion device for traveling or going to things like the grocery store or just random things where it's nice to have kind of a sketch pad or access work when you're not at your desk and set out to work for the day, heading to coffee shops and things like that. I used it for gaming and syncing my grocery list, drawing when I'm in need of a creative burst while I'm on the go, and capturing my ideas when I'm away from the big guy. It's more of a quality of life thing for me than a necessity since I do have the iPad Pro. But there are so many great uses for the iPad mini and how well it will pair with other tech that you already have. Now, if you have the Pro or the Air, you don't necessarily share the same beliefs or ideas of mine of being able to access your work on the go or having a sketch pad with you of the same basically squished down version of the iPad you have at home, then the iPad mini probably isn't for you, and it probably isn't worth getting. Maybe you're cool using your finger on your phone whenever you do feel like you need to draw something out or jot something down. However, if you're a student or a working professional where a lot of your work is primarily done on the MacBook or a laptop, but you think you would enjoy being able to take handwritten notes and really tap into the Apple Pencil 2nd Gen compatibility with the new minis, then the iPad mini might be worth looking into and exploring a bit. I like to be able to take notes here and there or have a really intelligent notebook size for an iPad for accessing your work or files on the go away from your computer. The iPad mini really taps into an audience like that, an audience like you. In my opinion, the iPad mini is primarily built for people like you. But if you're the kind of student where you know you can get away with using your iPad more than your laptop, maybe for taking handwritten notes or your tests, your presentations, meetings and such, or your job lets you get away with using the iPad more, maybe you don't have to access your work or do work on your laptop or have very specific programs that aren't already available on the iPad, then getting a larger iPad like the iPad Air or the iPad Pro is likely going to be more beneficial for you since you're working for longer hours at a time on the iPad. Or you could wait till the Apple Spring event to see what comes of Apple with a new line of iPads. So that just about rounds out my thoughts on the iPad mini and the different audiences and workflows that can benefit from using it. The iPad mini is a truly stellar device, especially if you have a very specific use case for it. Packed so beautifully. I just love this purple color. And I think it's worth getting if you do have a specific use case for it that really takes advantage of its size. If you're an iPad mini user, let me and everyone else who might see this video know what you're using the iPad mini for down in the comments below. Before you leave, I am going to bother you for a like and a subscribe if you haven't yet. It's free and I'll do a happy dance at the end of this video. Just kidding, I won't.
This being Mommy's outro.
Now you're gonna be in the bloopers.
There, you can't even see me. He's just floating.
Goodbye, kitty. I'm a sentence away from the end. All right, I will see you in the next one. Bye.